A doctor? A nice big house like this?
There is a ton of cash. We wait till they get back. They give us what we want.
I can hear you.
Perfect. Yes. We made it happen,
Yeah.
Julian.
Finally, it works.
I've had issues with the Zoom too, starting out early too. It's not the easiest thing to navigate. So
Yeah, sometimes it's not science. Sometimes it's just irrational, or I'm just a sheet with computer. I don't know, but it's okay. Finally, it works. How are you?
we made it work. How are you?
Yeah, great. Yeah, great. It's morning for you? No, it's
it's early afternoon. I'm in Chicago.
early afternoon. Ah, great. Wow.
So it's 1:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, good.
Is
I don't know
it-
Chicago.
Have you been to Chicago?
Never, but I would love. I have some family in East Coast, New York, Boston, Providence, but I never went in Chicago. Just Los Angeles and East Coast.
Yeah.
So, but I will visit one day.
You have to. It's a really major city with great architecture. So if you're into architecture, it's beautiful.
So cinematic. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Are you in Paris or?
I'm in Paris. Yeah, I live in Paris. It's my daughter room, and yeah. It's evening. It's dinner time. But I'm happy to talk to you.
Well, thanks for taking the time. How are things in Paris in general with COVID and everything?
Well, for COVID, you mean epidemic? It's for now. From yesterday, it's an obligation to wear a mask in Paris everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite new, and so it's not very. It's a little bit sad, to have this moment. I guess it's the same in Chicago. Or?
Yeah, we've been wearing masks here for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Los Angeles, it's been masks, and New York was early on, but I mean, everything's pretty much open and everything. Just the masks are required, But well, at least we can talk, so that's a good thing.
Thanks to internet.
Yeah, there you go. So this is your first feature film, is that correct?
It's correct, yeah.
Wow.
But I did some series before, so it's not really my first project as a director.
Right.
Yeah.
What about this? Because you co-wrote this film also, yes?
Absolutely, it's an adaptation from a graphic novel, Belgian graphic novel. We worked with my co-writer Mathieu Gompel. We were looking for a project for first feature film, so quite easy to produce, but with a strong premise, with a strong opportunity to develop very deep characters in a psychological thriller. And this story, it's Mathieu who proposed me, presented me this story. We understood there is all these ingredients for first feature film, because it's one location, it's 6 characters. Yep. It's quite simple and classical architecture, but a lot of opportunities to go quite far and to create turning points, to play with all ingredients from this house, and to really explore the interconnection between characters, how everybody lie, everybody manipulate, and we wanted to avoid traps from maybe horror movies with jump scares. There is not so much jump scares. It's mainly about interaction between characters, and but we didn't have any production company when we started to write.
Oh, wow.
So it was a bet. We contacted the author of the comic book, the graphic novel in Belgium. We went in Brussels, where they live. They were very nice, and they accepted we could work on their material, and without any contract or money. It was just friendly agreements. And a few months after, we finished the script, and we found production company. But we started from without any money. It was 6.5 years ago we started to write.
Wow, 6.5 years ago when you had the whole thing start. Wow, that's a long time coming.
It's a school of patience.
Definitely.
But finally we have the movie, the final version, and I'm happy with this
How much things changed over 6 years from the script to the everything? I mean, was it
not so much?
Really? Because I was wondering
No.
if it turned out to be a whole different project by the time you guys finished it from when you started.
No, not so much. We really worked full time during maybe 6 months every day in Mathieu apartment. He has bigger apartments than me, so it was easier to work every day. And the script didn't change at all. It's just we just wrote in French, obviously, because my English and Mathieu's English is shit. My English it's okay, but not good enough to write in English. So it's we worked in French, and it's when we found production company, the producers. They introduced us English writer Jeff Cox, who did amazing job. There was a translation, and he go further than the translation. He added a lot of great ideas for the language. We didn't change anything in the structure. It was mainly in the dialogues with Jeff, and he did brilliant job, I think.
Yeah, because I was wondering if this was ever intended to be in French, or was this movie kind of intended to be in English or for like a more wider audience in that sense?
Yeah, very, very fast. We wanted to make this movie in English because it starts to be very hard to do this kind of movie in France. We don't have money anymore. For the audience is not really interested in this kind of story. I mean, not in cinema, maybe after in DVD, but it was too hard for us to imagine finding French investors. So and also for artistic intention, it's mainly about conflict between two generations and conflict between two social status, social class. So and in France we don't have the same culture. In the way we cutted the head of our kings a few years ago. And in England, they still have this monarchy, so they don't have the same connection with this middle upper class. It's in between. And probably if we would have been this movie in France, it would have become a comedy or something, because connection with bourgeoisie, it's really not. It can be very quickly caricature. And there in England, maybe it's colder, something more elegant, and it was really important ingredients for this movie. And also, of course, commercially, you can reach so many actors in England and so many great actors. So it made sense very fast to do it.
How did you get Maisie Williams and the rest of the cast? Because I thought it was a great cast all around. Whoever you had in this movie, without them, you really don't have much of a movie because it's so much about the characters and the actors' performances. How did you? That's such a big part of this film. How did you come about the actors you got? Because I thought you guys got a great job casting.
It's thanks to my casting director, Dan Hubbard. He did an amazing job. He's a legend in this department. He's from a legendary family who worked on Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, many Captain Phillips, so many amazing movies. And thanks to my producer, we could have this opportunity to work with him, Dan. And he did an amazing job. He very fast understood my intentions and the colors I wanted to put on the movie and it was idea from Maisie Williams and all the cast. It's idea from Dan, by the way. So and it was obvious. Of course, it was a great idea to have Maisie. It was a bet. She read the script. She liked it. We met first. We did a conversation on Skype. Before epidemic, it was Skype, not Zoom. And we had great connection, and voila, we started to work together. It was a delightful collaboration. She's really amazing, very sweet, very intense, so generous as an actress. So she gave all this intensity necessary to build this character, because I really wanted to avoid classical female victim on this kind of movie. She's quite smart. She's very active, Of course, she's manipulated by everybody, but she's probably the strongest character from these younger robbers.
Yeah.
And she had everything to create the character I wanted. So yeah, for the rest of the cast, it was very natural. I mean, the three young male actors, Jake Curam, Ian Kenny, and Andrew Ellis. It's from a casting session from Dan. The first casting session he did with 20 or 30 young actors. Immediately, I fell in love with these three young actors. They were exactly what I was searching for, and so it was quite fast, this casting process. Sylvester retired. It's funny because a few months before pre-production, I went to cinema just to see a Taste of Honey. It's movies in the 60s, made in the 60s. It's an important movie from free cinema. It's the equivalent of French Nouvelle Vague.
And French New Wave.
And Maisie Williams, Rita Toshigan, she played in this movie in the 60s. She was 20 years old. She was quite very young, but I didn't do the connection by myself. It's thanks to Dan, who told me, Dan Hubbard told me, why not working with Rita? She's still working today. She's 75 years old.
Wow.
It's how she looks. He showed me pictures. It was a brilliant idea. And I think it was like a gift from the universe, you know?
Yeah.
Stars
past and the future and present connecting in that way. That's tremendous. You know, finally wanted to ask you, in a movie, like you said, there's not many jump scares, and that's what I like about this film, that it's a thinking film. You got to, you know, like, you don't know what's coming at you really. It's scene to scene, or what's next, you know, in so many ways. How do you kind of build that tension and that intensity in this film that it had? Because as a viewer, you're watching like, what's going to happen next? You know, you don't know where these relationships are going. You just don't know what anyone's thinking. You know, you got to base on interactions. How do you kind of create that cinematically so the viewer's like on the edge of their seat waiting to see, without using any sort of, you know, tropes as a jump scare or anything like that, keeping it naturally tension and just so compelling?
It was the main challenge of this project, because I really wanted to avoid these classical tricks from horror movies. It's really from the top, we wanted to create strong, intense, and quite original psychological thriller. And because it's a single location story, and because the story takes place during one single night, you really have to play with all ingredients from the house, from the personality of characters. And so we started from the structure from this graphic novel, but we were not happy with the end of this graphic novel. So after having this beginning of structure, we were thinking on the good final chapter, what would be the really surprising ending for this kind of movie. And when we found it, it was quite easy to construct stronger characters and to create the very complex interaction between each other, to like a jigsaw. Each detail could appear not so important, but with time in the movie, we understand everything is so well connected, and to create this complex organism. And so it was about searching very distinctive characters. How could oppose as far as possible these three young male. So to find really specific colors. And after with this special turning points at the end, we finally found the good architecture. Yeah, it's a long way, as you imagine.
Thank you so much, Julius. I know you got to get going, but just a really, really fun film to watch. Really interesting. I love how you exactly did it the way that we just discussed, and made it so compelling. if this is your first feature, I can't wait to see what's next for you. I really hope you do a lot more kind of international movies so we can see them all. And I'm gonna
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna definitely check out your French series on Netflix too. So I saw it's up there. So
there is different one, but yeah, I'm working right now on a new series, and it's adaptation from Israeli series. And you have in America there is some production company who works on adaptation. You have your own adaptation with Bryan Cranston. Soon it will be released. You know, Your Honor. But I work with French actors. It's French adaptation with Gerard Depardieu and some famous French actors. I think it will be nice.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we connect soon again and
yeah,
on
sure.
next project. And it was a pleasure to talk to you. Really enjoyed the film. Terrific job.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jim. Have a good day in Chicago.
You too. Stay safe and healthy to you and your family.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Where are you? Tell me what's going on!
Just a few minutes more, and then a lovely long